So if you've got a camera and a macro lens, I've got a fun little project for you to try at home. It's going to cost you less than £10 to get started and a little bit of imagination. Let's jump in. I wasn't eating the props. Hello and welcome to another video. So today I am shooting macro figures. I'm shooting, if you can make that out in there, little miniature figures that you get for model railways. I'm sure you've seen the images online. You can get various amounts of figures. They come in packs usually, and they vary from like snowboarders, builders, fishermen that I've got there. All sorts of different figures, limited to your imagination. I think there's so much out there. So that's what you're going to need to get started, is just those figures. Obviously your macro lens, as I said earlier. Now get decent quality ones. These ones cost me £10.75. Get some decent quality ones because you can buy them in bulk, but the quality isn't as good. The painting and the actual facial features aren't very good. It's just sort of straight out of the mold sort of thing. So you do want to spend a little bit of money on them. £10.75, like I say, it's not a lot. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 little figures in there in various different styles. Yeah, so go and grab yourself some of those, and then what I'm going to do is I'm probably not going to use all these props, just got a few of them out just to sort of see what I want to do, but I'll talk you through what I'm going to do and how I'm going to get my image. So the first thing I'm going to need to decide is, what am I going to use? So I've got a variety of figures in here, so I'm just going to show you. I've got some, this is tarmac, and I've got a little selection of roadmen and just some old lady sitting on a bench. I've got more roadmen here, which are the smaller ones again. I've got a fishing boat, or a rowing boat should I say, with a little rower on it. Then I've got, these have fallen apart, I need to glue these back together, but I've got a phone box, British phone box, a post box, and then I've got a few other little bits that I picked up. So you've got like a portaloo and another phone box, post box, and some wheelie bins, and then in there is some road signs, which it's showing up on camera, but some little Bennett work road signs, and that's just the stuff I've got. I've got a little shed as well, which is and some bricks. This is the stuff I've picked up just doing a few different things, and I've picked these up over time, and I've got the fisherman as well. So those are just the figures that I've picked up over the years, and there's a massive variety of stuff out there that you can pick up, and it's limited only to your imagination. So I'm going to set up my scene, and then I will talk you through what I'm going to do with the settings wise and how I'm taking the photo. Right, so I've got my image almost set up, and I'm using the 100mm macro, and I've got a 60D, I think they're called, aperture light storm video light. So it's a constant light shining on my subject, just to save me using flash. Now what I thought I could do, the idea of the scene is, we've got all the junk food and then a bit of broccoli, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this little barrier to set up. If I don't drop it and lose it. I'm going to use this little barrier to set up a little cordon around the broccoli, being the healthy food. I might need to cut that down a little bit and make this a little bit smaller, more macro size. And then I'm going to use my men at work figures to build the scene up around it. So that's the plan. And then what I might do is might have some icing sugar in it as well. I can have that as the backdrop of the image. So if you hear, I'm not sure how well this icing sugar will show up, but it's a bit dried out by the looks of it. Okay, so if you hear any noise upstairs, banging on the floor, kids screaming, it's a Saturday. And the little monsters are at home, so that'll be what that is if it's showing up. Okay, so I've got my scene set up. Now, the one thing you need to make sure is that your scene's not too deep, because the deeper it is, the less focus you're going to have. So obviously focusing with macro, you've got such a small plane of focus anyway. And I've got mine on a slider, not a slider, focus rail, which is I'm gonna be able to focus through that plane. So I need to make sure it's not too deep, so the focus rail doesn't, so I don't want to have the back perfectly in focus all the way through to the mid ground and then the front of the image be out of focus because the focus rail run out of room. So you need to make sure that the depth of the image is right for the focus rail, the length for the focus rail you got. So I'm just adjusting for that depth. Okay, so I'm going to try that and see how that looks. So I'm going to get an image or 100 and see how that looks. Okay, I'm happy with that. So let's start that process and give that a go. What are we looking at lighting wise? We're a little bit underexposed. So my settings are ISO 100, f13 and a 15th of a second shutter speed. So I'm just going to check my starting focus again, just make sure I'm 100% happy with that. There. Okay, so the last image was a little bit more complex. So this one I've gone a bit simpler. I've just got a bit of icing sugar. I don't need to point there, you can see the icing sugar, and some generic chocolate chunks that's sprinkled around it, kind of like a landslide of snow and rock, and somebody cleaning the mess up. So I'm going to stack that image as well. You don't have to stack these images, they will make nice images just on their own, like, so I'll give you an example. Let's go for this. So if you get your man in focus, that's the sort of image you're going to get if you don't stack them. So it's not 100% essential that you stack them. That's still quite a nice image, but stacking them just adds that of a layer of almost realism to it. Okay, so same process, probably about 95 images, and just stacked on top of each other. So let's get taking those. Another stack done. I'll pop the image up on the screen. So my final image is going to be a bit of a, don't know if it's going to be an easy one or a hard one. So I've got a wine glass with some blackcurrant juice in because I've only got white wine in the house and I want it to show up on camera. And then I've got some figures, so I'm just going to pop this down. Okay, and again for the final image, a nice simple shot. So I've got a wine glass with some figures around it, either investigating it or cleaning it up. So there you go, so a nice easy project that you can try at home. I'd love to know if you have a go at this, and if you do and you want to share the images, I'm on @KeithGuppy. I'd love to see the photos that you've done. So that's it for another video. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate that, and if you have the time and you want to click that like button, it always helps with the videos and the algorithm, and I really do appreciate that too. And if you're not subscribed, then for more videos like this, then hit that subscribe button. And I will catch you on the next one.